As you watched that moment, what did you take away from it?
Gee, it summed up everything I've ever heard about Michael Jordan's mentality for me. Like, if you could say a defining moment, we can talk about all of the great shots, all of the things, the cursing the teammates out, making practice hard, the fight with Steve Kerr. We could get all of that in totality and build up this resume of Jordan being one of those uber competitors. That last night taught me more about Michael Jordan and his mentality and how he approached the game than anything I've ever heard about him. It was still representative of him today, G. Like, Jordan hadn't touched the basketball court in however many years. And you could tell in that moment, when I was watching last night, you could tell in that moment that that is his makeup. That had nothing to do with basketball. That's who Michael Jordan is. He would have been that way in whatever field he would have chose to be in. And it goes further, listening to them talk about him in baseball. Said if he would have got 1,500 at-bats, he probably would have been in the major leagues. But that moment right there, to me, will stand out. When I hear anybody else say Michael Jordan was the greatest competitor, or he just was crazy about it, or crazy about doing his job and working his craft, that moment last night will be the definition of it for me more than anything he ever did on the court.
Nick, what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, it benefited all of us. I think the way that he was a gift to all of us, and it seemed like he really genuinely believed that he owed it to not just himself, not just his father, but to the game and to all of us. And as athletes, I think that we look at that and we kind of feel like we understand and we feel like it resonates with us. But hearing that, him say it in that moment, makes me realize that I don't. Like, I don't have what he has, and I don't think very many people do that care about anything as much as he does. The tears that were coming to his eyes and the way that he felt emotionally about that, I can't muster up that emotion for anything outside of my family. And I don't care about football or basketball or baseball or work nearly as much as Michael Jordan cared at that moment, decades after he played the game. It seemed like that moment it seemed like he might have just walked off the floor the way it hit him. He was so impassioned by it. Like, last night's episodes were full of so many moments like that, from him sobbing on the floor in the locker room. Like, I've seen that video, but I've never heard him sobbing on the floor before. And to him holding a baseball bat with a cigar, talking about going into the next game. Like, it was powerful. And him with Gary Payton, when he was just laughing at Gary Payton saying that the glove was going to impact Michael Jordan, like, all of that just spoke to me in a way that I want to be like, oh yeah, I get it. I'm a football player. I know about intensity. Nah, I don't know what Michael Jordan knows. I don't feel what he feels, and I'm grateful for him to have done that, because it does seem like it's taken a toll on him and taken a toll on the people around him. But all the rest of us, we've just sat back, enjoyed it, and benefited from it.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the Gary Payton piece of it, which is one of the things that got a lot of attention. I'll say this. I spent 6 years of my life following that guy around, and I've spent the last 25 trying to explain his psychology, his mentality. And last night, in those 10 seconds, he did it better than I ever possibly could. The way I think you look at it is this. Nothing in the world was more important to him than being the best basketball player in the world and winning everything he possibly could. And when you care about something that much, it conjures up that kind of emotion. And for most of us, we don't have that for our work, no matter how important our work may be. But for Michael Jordan, it was. It was a remarkable night. I tried to tell you last week, leading up, this past weekend was going to be the best ones. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.